Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 273, and today we're doing battle with Taliyah Ziggs. And so this is a deck that's, it's been around for a while. It did pick up some new toys and some new tricks in the World Ender expansion with the release of the Rock Bear Shepherd, but it's not a deck that really sits up in kind of the tier 1 of the meta, and it tends to be a deck that typically just kind of fills out best of three lineups. But I think we are kind of landing in a space right now to where Taliyah Ziggs could have some opportunities to shine. And so the things that have traditionally caused this deck a lot of problems would be something like Pirates. Pirates and its ability to just come and crash in and end the game very quickly before Taliyah Ziggs is able to set up the rock bears or set up its bigger units or blow up the landmarks, do the kind of mid-rangey things it's trying to do. And so, as the format stands right now, we don't see a ton of stuff like pirates. We do see quite a bit of things like Lulu Poppy, and that is a tough matchup. But the kind of density of pirates isn't really there. And the thing that I think is pretty important in the meta right now is that the all of the decks are currently trying to just go wide, and so even the decks like Poppy Lulu are trying to just put a ton of units on the board. You have a lot of Nora. You have a lot of decks that their defensive measures tend to just be units, and that's what we're really looking to shine on here with the Taliyah Ziggs. And so we have that classic statement of you have to either be able to attack around them with Elusive, attack through them with Overwhelm, or attack twice with Rallies. This deck can most definitely attack through them with the Overwhelms. And so, what this deck, really has going for it, it has a really high-powered mid-game. If you're able to assemble these boards to where you have a trade with the Endless Devout to put a sarcophagus on the board, then you blow up the sarcophagus with the Desert Naturalist to get the two units on board. That tends to just immediately shut down any aggression that's coming at you. And so we are a little weak in the early game, but this combo of the Endless Devout, the Rock Bear Shepherd, the Desert Naturalist gives us a nice collection of cards that if things kind of go in our favor, if we're able to assemble the squad, if you will, then we're able to develop a board that's just quite challenging to attack through. But if you're not familiar with the deck's main course of victory, we have both Taliyah and Ziggs. The things with these champions are they have these attack abilities, right? And so with Ziggs, he attacks, deals the damage to the blocker in the Nexus. Taliyah, once she flips, she has the thing to where she throws a bunch of rocks at the unit. But the problem with both of these champions is if our opponent just throws a single unit in front of them, they don't deal any damage. And so Taliyah probably gets to deal like 2 or 4 damage with her ability, but her natural 4 attack never gets to punch through. And that's where the kind of overwhelm aspects and the kind of mid-rangey combo aspects of this deck come in. If we're able to either play the Herald of the Magus to give all of our champions +2/+2 and overwhelm, or if we're able to use the back half of the Absolver, we can give our champions that last little bit of overwhelm they need. Typically closes out the game anytime you're able to do that. Then one of the nice things is within Shurima, if you're looking to go for these combo style kills, you do have access to the Rite of Negation to help protect your unit as you're going for that big OTK. The last thing I like to say about this deck before I jump in, I'm usually a pretty big fan of all the versions taking advantage of ancient preparations. And so a lot of times, at least in the past, you wouldn't see a whole ton of ancient preparations. You may start to see some of the 1-mana stun card, but I've always just been a fan of the triple preparations. It lets you get on board early, which is the deck's big weakness, but then it also lets you have a bit of agency in finding your kind of one-of cards. You don't really want to be playing 2 and 3 copies of Herald of the Magus or 2 and 3 copies of the Arsenal, and so you have a kind of very good early, good late card in the Ancient Prep, and then it lets you come down on turn 1, smooth out your draws, and have a dude. Or if you need to play it on like turn 6, you can pick up a predict to dig for whatever you currently need at the time, be it a removal spell, an arsenal, a big boy, a champion. It's just nice having that good early, good late aspect with the ancient preparations without having to stack in a bunch of the more situational cards like the expensive units. And so that's the deck. That's what we'll be doing battle with today. And so let's go ahead and jump on into battle. So, I mean, this was a deck. We did play this one in a seasonals. I was wanting to speak two seasonals, as I'm not entirely certain if I'm going to get to play seasonals this season. It's a bit unfortunate the way that uh, sports ball has panned out. The Kansas City Chiefs. It's the kind of a bummer being a small market team, and that you don't get all of the good times for the games, right? With the big market teams, your New Yorks and the like, they get to play their games at like 7 p.m. on Sunday nights. That's when you have the biggest audience to watch them. And with Kansas City being a smaller city, they tend to kind of push us to the edges. And so, what this is basically going to amount to, here, let's take this Endless Devout. We need to get in front of the opposing attacks. Is that as the NFL playoffs turn up, actual like four of the smallest market teams in the AFC have made the playoffs. On the AFC side, there's the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Cincinnati Bengals, all small market teams. And then they're facing off against the large teams like the New York Giants. There's the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys are the most popular team in the nation. And so what it's essentially going to amount to is that the Chiefs are going to be playing on Saturday afternoons, and then that doesn't really tie in well to me being able to play in seasonals. Or there's a Mastering Runeterra Open tournament this weekend, and so it's a bit of a bummer. We'll see how it goes. I think I might try to still play the event, but not record it. And we'll have to see if the Chiefs win this week. That's what's going to kind of help determine things with seasonals. And so it's not, for me, it's not really a matter of just like, sitting down and watching sports ball. We tend to make kind of a family event out of the matter. And so everybody gets to, kind of come together. And it's the first kind of thing like after Christmas. Christmas has happened. You've had a month since then. You've had a chance to be, tired of your family and want them back. And so that's what kind of happens here at the NFL postseason. And kind of is what it is. There'll be more seasonals, but that family time you just got to get in every once in a while. And so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But back to the game in progress, we did get this pretty reasonable draw. We had a nice 1, 2, 3, 4 curve. We don't have a great answer to Gwen. We are just going to have to block her. I do like to come in and just prevent maximum damage against the red Gwen deck, because they can just hit you so hard once they get a couple points of Hallowed in a rally. But we might have a decent opportunity here. We'll see if he'll swing in front of a 5/5 unit. He's at Hallowed 0 right now, right? He's only played Noxen units up to this point, and so it is kind of tough for him to take down a Grumpy Rock Bear. Like, he is bringing the attack, which is quite interesting, but typically decks like this, like Vile Feast is very common, but getting that second point of damage is not. And so I think the way that he would have to protect his Gwen here is to be playing a Nox and Fervor, which I'm okay with. But you can have surprise combat tricks, whatever. This is just very odd to see the Gwen coming in, and it's the Nox and Fervor. That's fine. So we lose our big boy, but we only take the 2 damage off of the Gwen ability. Now, Taliyah with no landmarks. A little sad for her, but I think we're just going to have to deal with it. I think we're in a spot here to where we can open attack, and then Ancient Prep, see what comes on top, and try and go from there. Like, I want to be digging for like a quicksand, or I want to find a ancient... Interesting. An ancient damage blast for Rite of Damage, Rite of Zerath, whatever that thing is called. Just find us a way to interact positively with this with this Gwen. Now, we do have the Safety Inspector. It's a round start ability to generate these inspection pasts. I think that's probably just a little bit too slow. As it stands, we can still just come in and block Gwen, but what I'm going to look to be doing here now is getting the Preservarium on board and then just copying it with Taliyah. So I think I just want to skip all of this stuff. I don't really want that. I want some interactivity. Could add in Rockhopper. We do run the risk, though, of just not having enough space on board. But, like, for us to not have enough space, he needs to be open attacking with this Gwen, right? And I don't think that's super likely, right? This is the problem if we want to play Taliyah and copy the Preservarium. We need 2 spaces on the board. But if he just open attacks with Gwen, we're going to lose 1 card. Here it goes. That looks okay. Now, we did just pick up the Safety Inspector again. I don't think we're going to get him immediately on board, though. Okay, only taking 2, not a bad deal. Incoming card. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. Glimpse from Beyond is okay. The thing that we're mainly worried about at this point is like the getting like a Katarina for multiple attacks in the same turn. That would start to be problematic.
Forward, everybody. The horizon calls. I thought I heard you coming. I suppose rocks aren't the quietest form of.
So what do we got? We got a Rockhopper. Not that exciting, but we'll get to draw 2 next turn. Maybe we'll pick up something exciting there. Thinking real hard on this one.
I wouldn't want to be in your shoes either.
So this is the kind of space we're talking about, to where it can be, you know, real troubling to deal damage with your Taliyah. So say we open attack next turn, he blocks Taliyah, she sends the 2 rocks at Gwen. The 3rd rock will deal 2 damage to face, and then the 4 damage doesn't come through for any damage. Ooh, Katarina. It's kind of nasty. I wonder if he's going to have like a... I wonder if he's going to have like a free attack unit. Oh, we got to drop the bomb. Okay. How greedy can we get with drop the bomb? We should be able... We can add Ziggs, but he's not enough to activate anything. And so I think we want to go this way. We want to do Rockhopper. Opponent's going to play a card, right? He can't just immediately attack with Katarina. Then we can drop the bomb, then we can play Ziggs. But I'd like to get his unit, whatever he plays after the fact here, kind of locked into the Roiling Sands so he can pick and choose how this combat goes a little bit. I think we're okay here. This seems fine. But things can always go wrong, and then we have this absolutely meteoric arsenal for the following turn. If this guy manages to hit like Spell Shield Lifesteal, then the game should be pretty done there as well.
The desert likes you.
Okay. And my expectations for the attacks this turn were not going to be to get a lethal, and so having the Taliyah dropped down and be stunned, not the end of the world. Interesting, do nothing now. I wonder if he ever blocks with Katarina. Let's give him an opportunity to do something weird, right? Like, just having 4 mana behind, there's not a ton of stuff the opposing deck can do. Like, it's not a deck that plays combat tricks, and so doesn't typically play combat tricks, I guess I should say. I think we can give him a shot. Now, there is an argument here that the Ziggs attack isn't very good. We could have, say, hooked the Arachnoid Sentry with the Desert Naturalist, and then Ziggs would have been representing 6 damage coming in. But I would prefer him to be damage free. This is the kind of space where it feels like opponent might be trying to get clever with Ravenous Flux, and losing Ziggs is kind of a pain. Maybe it's not enough of a pain to like really hold him, like keep him out of combat, but we'll see. Threading of the needle. Okay. So he did actually bring in a block with Gwen, and so we could switch to using Drop the Bomb onto Gwen instead of Katarina, and I think that's okay. Well, I don't know. That just seems a little bit too dangerous. Like, we have the answers to Gwen. It's just block, right? Gwen's not going to kill us without some additional cards. She does have the big Hallowed boost. She's up to Hallowed 2 now. That's not even that scary. So, okay. Kind of dig it.
How clever. A dance partner wherever you go.
Can't remember if the Eternal Dancers are going to be bringing back Katarina now. The big thing with that's the if he is bringing back Katarina, she's not going to he's not going to have the mana to replay her. That weird interaction with the ephemeral Katarina, she returns to hand before the ephemeral happens, so you do get the unit. But we hit the arsenal. He hit it all. He hit the lifesteal in here. He didn't hit Spell Shield, I guess, but it's going to be incredibly challenging to lethal through our board now. It's a second Gwen. Interesting.
It's your funeral.
I see you. Juice is burning. Juice is burning.
All right, so we end the day at +5 health. The opponent still has their Eternal Dancers, but looks like we should be surviving everywhere else. I think I'm okay to lose out on Taliyah, right? We have another Taliyah in our hand. This looks good. And then as we roll into the next turn, we'll have this Rite of Negation for protection as well.
No matter their resolve, mine will be stronger.
It's kind of sad not playing on the main account, man. I know we got that pool party Taliyah skin, which is one of the best ones in the game. We don't have our pool party board. We don't have our pool party skins. It feels like everybody's losing here. There's the Ravenous Flux, sure. Life can be hard sometimes, man. Life can be hard. But alright, we have a pretty effective board here now. We got 10 mana, so if we want to Preservarium and Taliyah, we don't have the mana to do it, but we are just like super close to lethal if our Ziggs doesn't die and we double up on the Scrappy Bombs. There's some definite potential there. Well, let's lead off with Taliyah. We'll get a chance to see how opponent spends their mana. I feel like as the board stands, he's going to have a pretty tough chance dealing with this. We can probably just add another unit. Alright, well, we have our right. We'll sacrifice the mana gem. We'll leave Ziggs at home. There's no reason to attack with Ziggs and have him just trade with the thing. This is threatening 10. Next turn, he'll take 4 off of the Ziggs. I guess that's not quite a lethal. Alright. Fine. We can't leave this guy on the board, right? This... Well, he doesn't understand what's about to happen on next turn, I guess, but with the Eternal Dancers around, we'd be just getting smoked. Alright, we got it though. GG. Mark it a W for bust. Sorry we didn't have the deck tracker up that game. Let me see if we can get that up and running. Alright though, next battle. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Get it on. Get going. Getting close to the diamond on here. We're almost in Masters. So, well, it won't take us too long to get there. Get into this end of the season time. All right, the deck tracker is back up against Nami. Nami Shadow Isles. I would assume that this is kind of like a Nami Twisted Fate style deck, but I'm not entirely certain what we'll be running into. I think we'll get rid of Pokey Stick here. It doesn't actually kill anything in this deck, or at least the classic Nami decks of old, and we'll have to look to just build into these Rock Bear Shepherds. Now, as we were talking in the intro, the thing that you tend to see with these like Nami decks is they do just flood the board with a bunch of dudes, and then they'll eventually just OTK you with some elusives. But we don't have a great way to counter that strategy with our hand, right? If we get the Rock Bear Shepherd on board, and then we start summoning a bunch of 5/5 Rock Bears. The 5/5 Rock Bears don't deal any damage through a Spiderling, and so I was pretty interested in picking up the Taliyah here. She helps us, kind of turbocharge that idea of getting that big, high-powered damaging unit in.
I've got gravel cakes and slag fruit.
All right, nothing from opponent. He's scared, I can tell. So we're going to add the Endless Devout. Now we have to worry about our board, right? I don't care about the Rock Bear popping before the Shepherd is able to, or before Taliyah is able to copy it. But with this angle we're kind of taking, it's a pretty crappy Taliyah, since we can only copy a Scrappy Bomb. But we gotta get involved with something here. We have to start trying to crash in. Make it rain, sure. Little too scared to attack with the Rock Bear Shepherd. Ooh, is it going to give us an Endless Devout, though? Okay. Interesting. So, his Nami is getting, fairly close to leveling up here. Not a lot we can do about it, but let's see if he'll attack. I'd really like to lose a unit at this point.
Let the tide carry you.
All right, buddy. You can draw that Snapjaw Swarm next turn. Have at it. All right. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get a way to get the extra value out of Taliyah. I think we need to be ready to open attack with her next turn, though. So let's just go ahead and put her on the board. We lose out on that unit, but she should be able to crash in for 4 damage or so. And he's never blocking. Oh, shit. We did just have the space. I missed the interaction with the Rock Bear Shepherd, and so... I mean, I actually planned it that way. Planned it that way for sure, for certain. All right, let's just slap it all in there.
Ride the surging tides.
What do we got? 1 damage short at the moment. Oh, taking down Nami definitely feel good. Cool. Pretty positive turn. It's like, even if he does come in and just replay Nami, it's hopefully kind of like too much mana to really develop an OTK for the next turn. Maybe not. He's got plenty of mana to do it. So we can find. Would love to find a quicksand, or double drop the bomb can do a bit of work as well. Oh, is this too dangerous? I was like, it's just this unit we don't care about. He's got the Nami on board. He can play 2 spells to boost it, but let's be real, right? If he plays 2 spells to boost it, we're gonna be completely fine anyways. I was thinking like Tellstones to a degree is a problem, but this is okay. This is okay. His resources have been severely whittled down.
Sorry, everyone.
Alright, yeah, not as bad. Got him. We GG'd him. We boomed him real good. Oof. Okay.
We should do this more often.
Got to get used to these Rock Bear Shepherds. That's one of the cards coming out of the World Ender set that I suspected was going to be quite good, and it's done quite a bit of work. It's seen some play at Worlds. You see a little bit of it in things like the Sun Disk. I don't think that's where it really belongs, but you do see it on occasion, and has a lot of power to it. So I'm curious. As like we're entering this space of what feels to be a fairly mid-rangey format, right? The kind of decks that really keep the mid-range decks in check would be something like a Seraphine Ezreal, just like the combo decks that can go over top of it. And then with that nerf to back alley bar, it's kind of tough to see if a deck like that will be able to kind of rise and make its way into the format. And if it doesn't, you can be like, well, okay, I'm just going to play something like Taliyah Lissandra, right? And the Rock Bear has a decent shot of doing work in it. And so I'm curious
For the glory of
if there isn't a space for like the Rock Bear and the Taliyah Lissandra decks to potentially come in and sweep through the format, because I mean that is the fantastic way to generate all of that overwhelm damage is through the frozen thralls. We haven't seen them since the nerfs to countdown 9, but yeah, it's always something to think about, always something to wonder about. But here we're back against. Oh, I thought this was Red Gwen. It is not. It's some kind of Elise deck. I think we want to get our... if we were playing Red Gwen, I would just make the trade. I want to get the Sarcophagus on board, but up against Elise Callista, I think I want to hang on to the potential fearsome blocker here in the Endless Devout. But I didn't want to get Ziggs on board. I don't think he's going to do very much in that space, and he's getting fairly close to flipping. So I think that's all good.
for the Empire.
Interesting.
You for the
So now he's pretty much out of cards. We should be able to get the Devouts on board. I was wanting to see if we were going to be in a space to where we could just say trade away a Devout this turn and then Desert Naturalist to back some stats onto the board, but that's not going to happen here. It's not going to be the case. But let's just prevent the damage. We'll prevent as much of it as we can. That'll help us to not die. As long as we aren't taking... as long as we're minimizing the damage we take, we'll be doing A-okay. Now, the thing we can do, you can look to Scrappy Bomb and Endless Devout to just go ahead and kill it off. I don't think we're going to need to do it here. I have like a fairly good confidence that the opponent is just going to kill one of these off in the middle of combat here anyways, but if you were really looking to use the Naturalist onto the Sarcophagus, you could drop the bomb on the Devout.
Come closer. I don't bite.
But we should be good. If it comes down to it, we have the drop the bomb this turn for the Naturalist next turn. But we definitely want to get the Naturalist down next turn. All right, not bad, not bad.
I can't wait to see what this one does.
Gonna go ahead and drop the bomb on something. I was willing to do it onto the Imperial Demolitionist, but now that the Doom Beast is down, it's got a little bit more health. A little bit more attack, I should say. Alright, not bad, not bad. Out of Decimate range, that's one of the big things here. Rite of Negation makes me feel pretty good as well, getting us out of those burns. Opponent bringing the sickest of burns.
Hey, wake up, you hammer!
Alright, ready to block. Sure. So one thing to watch for here is that we do have the Ancient Hourglass. We can throw down a block and then protect the unit, get it back next turn, and then Ziggs would flip off the Hourglass returning. So we have something potentially interesting there. But let's see what we can do. We want to block all of the fearsomes.
Fuse is burning. Fuse is burning.
And so yeah, it's like, do we want to Hourglass anything? Like I don't think so. I'm pretty happy just to have all of his units die and then have the Rite of Negation in the back line. So let's see if his card is like Reveler's Feast. That would be problematic. Or if he has like Nox and Fervor. I don't really care about Nox and Fervor. Yeah, that looks good. And the thing I was going to say, if we're really looking to just protect a unit and then still be able to come in for combat next turn, we could have thrown a unit in front of his Legion Rearguard, and then the Rearguard couldn't block on this upcoming turn. But let's see. I'm not going to just take the Ziggs flip. I mean, that would have been close to lethal, I guess. That would have been 6. It would have brought us a lethal. Maybe we should have taken that one. Where are we at? We're short now, aren't we? Yeah. Well, he can't burn us out with one card.
They are my people.
A little sloppy. Probably should have just taken the Hourglass, but
I thought that hurt.
I think we'll be okay.
Rocks aren't the quietest form of transport. But where all is happening for it?
All right, dude. 21 coming at you. GG. A little sloppy. We got there at the end of the day.
What a great day.
I thought I saw this interestingness on the Twitter earlier today. I don't know if a new Hearthstone expansion just came out. I know that Season 3 of Battlegrounds just came out because I've been playing a bit of Battlegrounds. But Brian Kibler was tweeting this morning that the current standard of Hearthstone is unplayable, and he's going to take a month off from Hearthstone so that he just has something else to do until the next patch comes out. And someone was suggesting that he comes and plays Runeterra, and he said no. But I get it. Like whatever his reasons or not for doing it are, I don't particularly care. But I've tried my hardest to get my brother to switch over to playing Teamfight Tactics. Like the only reason I play Battlegrounds is because my brother plays it, and we can jump on at the same time and chat with each other and stuff. And so that's it. That's the literal and sole reason that I play Hearthstone Battlegrounds, because my brother does it. I can't get him to switch to Teamfight Tactics, even though, in my opinion, in every single metric, Teamfight Tactics is just a straight up better game. There are, I guess, more complexities to it, which I can see as a downside. Everyone doesn't want to have to kind of put the maximum thought into a casual game, or however you want to look at it. But he won't do it. He doesn't want to have to come out and like learn new cards and figure out the new mechanics and the new things. And it's just easier to keep continuing on with the game that you're already playing. Which is fine, but that's what I was kind of looking at with like the Kibler tweet. He was like, well, if you're in a space to where you don't know what all the cards do, it's extremely challenging to get into Runeterra. With the learning curve can be pretty high when you're trying to play it at a pretty high level, which is a pretty fair statement in my opinion. And that's how I kind of felt with my brother in the same mix. Is like, well, that is kind of a large investment to have to come in and learn all of the cards in the existence of the game to kind of be in a competitive place. But,
Just let them sleep.
it's tough. It's at least like not as bad as you would have with, say, Magic. At least paper Magic, is to where with paper Magic everything is just so fucking expensive. You have a real cost involved with having all those little pieces of cardboard around. And I get it for those folks. You know, that's a tough place to be. But this just sucks. This sucks. We should have taken that one so we could prevent the two here. Not quite willing to get rid of the Rock Bear Shepherd because we need to get more of these big units on board, but we're going to get ground out of this one.
More hands make quick work.
Let's see. Let's see what we can pop off. Adding in the Shepherd right now will bring it. I'm not entirely certain how this activates. It's going to hit the new big one, right? Yeah. Why not? Let's keep it around. The Pokesnicks aren't doing anything this turn. We're not playing the Devout this turn. We can play them both next turn, and we should be able to get a pretty juicy board. And so maybe things will turn around here.
What a strange
We're about to just have a completely wide board, right?
friends do make chores easier.
So not terrible. Not terrible. Interesting. He didn't Black Flame one of his bigger units like a Gwen. Okay.
You're scaring them.
All right, take 0 on this one. That sounds pretty good. He's going to get a lot more hallowed on this upcoming round, but we have the mana to throw some dudes away and add some fresh dudes to the board. No complaints there. Can't imagine he wants to just pass.
Fight for the first land.
So we're done with the Rock Bear Shepherds now, right? We're not. We're just not gonna have
They're my friends.
the landmarks on the board to care. Like we can get the Endless Devout and the Ziggs down this turn and then just open next turn. I think that's enough. I'm not doing the math. I see a lot of 5-power units out here, right? So if he blocks the 2 5s, he's looking at like 9, 10, 11, 14, 16 or so. Can, of course, still find your way out of this, but definitely been in a worse spot before in my life, right? Definitely been worse. The thing with the deck that we're playing against, I at least come in to assume that the interactive cards that they're going to have here are going to be the Blade Dance Bounce spell, which is a slow. And so I think most of the time you're able to not worry about anything affecting you in combat there. Because if you're playing a deck like the Black Flame Gwen, I guess the Black Flame with Gwen and Irelia, you have to stop and think. It's like, okay, well, they need all of the Hallowed cards, right? You probably need all the Blade Dance cards. They have the Black Flame. Like, at what point are you able to include other things in your deck, right? So it's like you're probably limited to your interactivity being the Blade Dance Bounce spell, and then, like, I mean, maybe you play Glimpse from Beyond. He was playing it there. Maybe you play a Vengeance. Maybe you play Vile Feast. But I don't think that there's a lot in that space to where they're bringing in an interactivity on us. You just don't have room in your deck for it. All right, we achieved victory, though. We unlocked it. We got it in there. We said GG. #1 player in the world according to FTPBust.com. FTP Bust, that's me. What do we got here? A little Victor Master Yi. Interesting, interesting. So we'll have to see if I bring it for the next video. There for a while, there was a kind of Ziggs burn deck running around, and I've kind of convinced myself that that Shunpo has finally got itself into the space to where it's a good card, right? And that 5 mana price for a rally is probably just what it should have been all this time along, and I feel like there's probably a space now with the strength of the Crimson Pigeon and using Shunpo and Ziggs and having a really nice aggressively oriented Ziggs deck. And seeing how that goes. I was a little disappointed in that I was looking at using the Shurima half of Ziggs along with Ruin Runners and an Overwhelm stack. It wasn't quite there, but I want to do a little bit more investigating into Ziggs before before the world ends, the end of the world ender.
What does that thing do?
All right,
Of course. Go ahead. Light the fuse.
let's get to battle, my friend. It's kind of gruesome theater. Oh, a heal. Okay. Interesting. He's not playing Seraphine, right? Victor Master Yi. Let's send everybody. If he wants to take a value block with the Ionian Hookmaster, we're going to slam in a ton of damage. Our Shepherd shouldn't be really at risk. I'm not upset if we lose it anyways. I think this is good. Get some big attacks next turn. Now, the Preservaria was an okay draw, but we should just be able to like blow up whatever he plays, right? We can Ancient Prep, get the Predict, Rite of Arcane it away, drop the bomb onto something else. Like I think our options here are all pretty good. Apparently they were. Apparently they were good. Aye, GG.
I brought my own fireworks.
And so it's tough, man. I was thinking back to those tournaments. I wish I'd known. Like I should have known better with the Mastering Runeterra folks. It seems like they always put together a tournament the week before seasonals, and I kind of forgot about that. It was just like way too short notice for me, as it kind of turned up. I think I read about it on what is today? Today is Thursday. I think I read about it on, or today's Wednesday. I think I read about it on Tuesday, and it was like, well, I can't rearrange my life in time for for this event. But they did announce that they're planning on doing it monthly, and so they have a monthly 2K tournament. It was very well run, the last one that we did, and so my my New Year's resolution was to we don't want any of this stuff to against the elusive stack. My New Year's resolution of sorts was to attempt to play in one tournament per month, and so I was counting on this month being seasonals. Hopefully, I don't have to. Hopefully, I don't fuck up my New Year's resolution on the first month. But I think I'll probably still play it. Maybe just not record it. But that should make it a lot easier for me. I was like looking over the past week or so. And it does look like there's a lot of stuff like just in Brazil, but not necessarily like something I would have had access to. And then it didn't really look like there was anything in this upcoming weekend. And so that was kind of meh. But opponent upset about the Pokey Stick. Still not very good for us. This is not a great board. We're not interacting with what he's doing particularly well. So we got some dudes for this turn. That's a bonus, but this tends to just be a non-interactivity festival, and we don't do it as well as they do. There you go, Pan of Pain. Interesting, slapping the tough on Teemo. Right, we're fairly easy set of attacks. I don't assume the Teemo is going to get into combat. The opposing deck shouldn't have any like combat. They do play combat tricks. They shouldn't have any removal spells. So I felt like we were reasonably safe there. Great place to drop the bomb on Teemo if we get an opportunity. This is a little bit more dangerous than the last turn. If he has a Pale Cascade, this is going to fail, but I don't think we have a chance to ignore it. Right? We can't just say I'm not gonna try. Getting 2 Rock Hoppers on board seems much worse. Interesting. He's sending away his extra Teemo though. He'll flip after this attack. All right, and then another awkward spot, right? If we want to get, well, we can just play Taliyah next turn, right? Getting these landmark copies with this board isn't that important. I guess we do have a real question in that, would we rather just add the safety inspector and then try and throw inspection past that stuff next turn? It does 3 damage to anything, so you can't throw him to face. Can't take down Teemo, though. I don't think I'm super interested in that. We have a choice here if we want to say, like, keep a landmark around so that we can throw it at something. I don't think we want to keep the landmark. So I'm going to overwrite the 2. Doesn't matter what we copy. The 1 cost one will be going to face next turn. And then we'll see if he pops something with this Roiling Sands.
No one likes a bad winner, Sammy. No one.
Alright, here comes the squad. Looks like a lethal, so he's got to block something. That's actually a pretty good lethal 18 into 15, in that he can't just block the Clockling. He's got to block a Rock Hopper or something while he's at it. The way he just blocks Taliyah. So we're still probably dead. Taking him to a smaller number doesn't quite matter. He should pretty easily have lethals with the 7 damage on board plus a new elusive or something, but we can draw Quicksands. That would be nice. We do have some outs to what's going on here. Wow, he just throws away Esmuth, though. Interesting. Like, the way that I kind of look at these situations and the way that these blocks have to go is opponent has to win the game on this attack, right? He's probably not going to win the game if it rolls around to another attack step. So, and I guess we do have a lot of puff caps here, but this is only about a damage a turn of puff caps. Once this doubles up to 34 into 29 cards. Bunch of Pale Cascades. Maybe he just didn't have anything else in hand. So if we want to pokey stick this game, we have to do it right now, right? We can't let these puff caps double up. I just don't think it's worth the risk of playing pokey stick, so we won't bring that one down. I do want the safety inspector. So we'll probably be losing out on this Roiling Sands, but it does let us go into the next turn, like get the inspection passed in hand, open, so we get to hit with everybody. And then after combat, play the Rock Hopper and throw the equipment at the face. Throw the landmark at the face, I guess. Two. We squeezed them cheeks good enough? Is this enough? Do we need to add more stuff to the board? It's like the stuff we add to the board is just a 1-attack unit in the Rockbear Shepherd. What if we add... Let's see here. This is just 1 mana at the end, though. So if we play the Rock Hopper... We just need the 1 mana. Okay. Let's add dudes. He shouldn't be able to pokey stick us out. Right, that should be kind of tough to do, and then he shouldn't be able to make us draw cards. So I think we're okay in this space. I think this is fine. We just needed to be able to get in 1 more point of damage. Ideally without Pokey Stick. Pokey Stick is the scary one. Alright, Gray Fox 05 thinking on it real hard though. Think on this, bro. We got the kitty helping out now. Says, what up, internet? It's me, Pepper. Says, I hate this. I hate this part of every day. Oh my gosh, he's got a Pokey Stick. Okay. Did not see that one coming.
I go! Beware falling rocks! We're in!
Alright, Puff Caps. Not worried about that one.
Vandal scouts are never afraid!
Alright, was enough. Oof. Can't tell if we mathed that one wrong. It feels like we did about 1,000 points of extra damage there. I think I might have mathed that one wrong in terms of how much damage we needed to do. Like I knew that we could pull the unit out with the smallest one. Teemo could block Taliyah and not have. I think I wasn't counting in the vulnerable. I was calculating that as he was blocking both Taliyah and the safety inspector, and that left us short on damage. I wasn't considering that we could get the safety inspector in, and so probably should have just attacked, just open attacked, and that would have been a bit safer. All right, still enough for victory though. A lot of those concepts there were still okay, so I don't feel too bad about that. And on to this one. Lurkers, this is a fairly scary matchup. We don't line up into their strategy very well. So this is the one that has me the most scared on the day.
I've never tried this chemical before!
But he doesn't have a turn 1 play. Very good. See if he's got a... let's see if he's got a... What do you call it? A rock jaw, rock snapper. A 2-cost free attacker. Snapjaw Swarm. And he missed. Nice. That's what you got to have go right sometimes against lurkers if you want to pull down the victory. So here, I'm going to start banking up mana. I don't feel like we need to get these Preservariums on board, but we are going to want to Ancient Hourglass here pretty soon. So I'm going to try and bank into the Hourglass on this upcoming turn. It should let us, block a 7-attack unit with Ziggs and make sure he doesn't die. Okay. Well, I didn't know Ruthless Predator was on the menu. I think we're still okay though. We get the Ziggs in. He represents a pretty good attack. It's kind of tough to add in units now that are bigger than Ziggs, so I think this will play out okay. Next turn we'll have the 3 bank to protect him. We'll also have the Taliyah to copy the hibernating rock bear. This all looks nice. All looks good.
One for you and one for you. I tried.
Kitty's agreed too. Kitty says, "You're right, Bust. This does look optimal." Does look optimal. Taliyah might get a good block in herself this turn. Did you hit? He hit. That's probably a safe damage to take. Just well, no. Let's actually put the block in front of it. If we get it down to 1 health, then when we attack with our Ziggs next turn, the bombs will blow it up out of combat. So it'll be a little bit safer. I like it. I like it. I don't know if you'd want to block him here anyways, but he's gonna flip and then throw the 2 damage bombs now, so the opposing blocks aren't nearly as good. And a Pokey Stick. Yeah, it seems a little bit too slow. Probably do want to flip this Taliyah. Ooh, quicksand?
Together
Alright,
we are
alright.
stronger than stone, faster than the wind.
I'm getting excited now. Look out. So that can be okay. Like, if he taps out and then we pokey stick the Zersai collar, that seems okay. Just digging for units that don't suck. Is that what's going on right now? Pike. Ugh, I hate Pike. Such a dumb card. I think we should be okay in the face of him, though. The big quicksand should be pretty intimidating for him. They typically don't play combat tricks. I mean, we did see a Ruthless Predator come out earlier, but I think for the most part, Lurkers doesn't play a lot of combat tricks, so I don't think he's going to be doing a lot of winning in this combat.
Don't hold your breath.
All right, looking good, feeling positive. I dig it. Ooh, with Rek'Sai. Yeah.
Stand back.
I'm okay to pick up Rite of Negation here. I don't expect a lot to come out from an opponent that's going to really harm us, but the stuff that they would do that would cause us problems are going to be either
Still.
what do you call it? It's either going to be a
They should have built it better.
pike spell, whatever that one's called, or it's going to be a bone skewer. And so having the Rite of Negation for either of those is pretty good. We don't have to worry about this Rek'Sai. She can attack and deal 10. It's never going to lethal us. All right. Ask me if I'm scared. Say, Bust, you scared? No. Not. A lot of animations will happen. He's out of mana, so he can't do anything here. We can just block the Zersai Collar with our dude. We can replay another unit. Since he's tapped out, we don't have to worry about him adding in any additional cards. And then we should be good to bring in that lethal next turn. It's being brought, bro.
Oh, I'm going to get it. Turn the Samurats just won't sit still.
All right, there you have it. Enjoy that, the Max Finnick. Looks like 15 coming at you. Right to the nugget, right to the dome piece. GG. Okay, okay, not a bad battle. Get ourselves lined up for battle number 8 here. See if we can't get a cool 8-0 set of victories. Catapult us right up into Platinum 1. Oh, we're already in there. Good job. So I think that match was kind of interesting in the sense of why, Taliyah Ziggs can kind of just do it, can kind of just win the games. You know, as you run up against a deck like Lurkers and they just have things. That game did not go well for opponent, right? They didn't have a turn 1 play. Their turn 2 Lurker thing missed and just got thrown away. And you should be able to, fairly easily win those games. It's not. This isn't a deck to where those aggro matchups are completely unwinnable. They aren't like great. I don't want to be like advertising this as a only like a 48% underdog against something like Pirates or against Lurkers. Those are legitimately bad matchups, but it's only like a 40-60 and not like a 25-75 or something that some of these decks that just get completely domed by like tokens have matchups that look like that. And so I don't think you have to worry about that too much.
Nowhere.
All right, last battle though, up against the elites, the Garen and Jarvan coming at us. See how it goes. See if he's got that turn 2 Battlesmith for us. I think we should be okay here. This is a hand that lines up pretty reasonably against it. We can get bigger than them with the rock bears if he doesn't have the battlesmith. So let's give it a go. I'm fine to go ahead and get in front of that unit. It's going to be better than our units quickly, and so let's just go ahead and trade. I don't want it just hanging out and then him eventually just being like, LOL, it's a Vanguard Bannerman, right? That's not going to play to our strategy too well.
Reporting for duty. I'm trained for this.
All right, I'm blocking. I think we just want to prevent all the damage that we can. Like, we do have, I mean, this is actually pretty close. Like, the thing that worries me is going to be a card like Sharp Sight. That's why I didn't play Ziggs here. Ziggs is a real problem if he gets in front of one of these big units and then he has a Sharp Sight. I guess the same thing applies if we just block a Penitent Squire, but if he doesn't have it, then we're in such a better space. And if his card is AoE tough, whatever AoE tough is called, then we're in a much better spot as well.
Nobody's pulling your tail while I'm around.
So I think we're safe to bring the Rock Bear Shepherd in. The thing with opponent is they're going to, or I should say they're not going to be able to play Jarvan next turn. Like if they set up some turn that just involves them playing Garen, it sucks, but we can kind of deal with that. If his turn is Jarvan, then we're just kind of hosed. But dang, sucks to lose him. Hopefully we can still get some blocks in. Ooh, no play. It has to be Garen this turn. So let's see. He can hook in whatever he wants. Might as well just make that be a rock hopper, right? Then we'll look to copy the landmark with Taliyah next turn. This doesn't look good. We're in a kind of crappy spot here, but I think this gives us a shot. There's the Ranger's Resolve. Destroy an allied landmark. There we go. So we may be okay. Like, again, we have to worry about him adding a unit to the board. But on this upcoming turn, let's Preservarium as well. We do get to copy the hibernating rock bear with Taliyah, and then have all of those units on the upcoming turn. And then his board does kind of suck, and so if he's like drawn a spell this turn and only has access to one unit, he can't lethal us if he needs his Cythria to be the main point of damage. So we got a shot, fam. We got a chance. Especially if he wants to say like block Taliyah. I welcome it. Please do. Nope. Disagrees. Alright. We only got one card in hand. If we get to drop the Desert Naturalist, we should be able to win this game. If he has Jarvan, we clearly lose. Say we could maybe pick up a Quicksand. That would be cool. All right, well.
Excuse me. If only you were made of rock.
It's going to be the Sharp Sight. Ooh, fam. Ooh, fam. Only falling to one. Nice. Okay, so yeah, not a bad set of battles. A nice little ladder climb coming from the Taliyah Ziggs. And again, this is a deck that if you like to play it, that's great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a completely fine deck. I've seen some reports of people doing their big their big end of the season ladder climbs with this and High Masters and having a bit of success. And so if you can have success with it there, you can have success with it anywhere. It's just one of these decks that you have to understand it's looking for like a specific set of circumstances. You're looking for decks like Nora decks that just put a bunch of dudes on the board. They don't really interact with your combats that well. and then you're able to kind of come in and get those big crushing blows, the big OTKs with your Ziggs and your Taliyahs. And if you're not running into a lot of that, it can be kind of frustrating. If you're running into a lot of things like pirates and tokens and lurkers and Lulu poppies of the world, then you're going to have some trouble. But it does have some, pretty positive matchups, especially as you land more into the control-y kind of spectrum. And so you do have to kind of like find the right metas for this. This is why I say that it typically works a little bit better as a best of 3 deck instead of a ladder climber. But kind of regardless of where you are in the ladder, this is a deck that can certainly give you some success. We just cruised through 8-0 in Platinum. I was talking about those High Masters people. Prodigy was one of them I know that was working with Taliyah Ziggs, and then even the archetype stats on here has it pretty close to a 55% win rate. So it is certainly a positive deck. It's just you do have a lot of matchups that can come in and crush it, and so it's a little bit more polarized than your kind of top of the line ladder grinders. But nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with this. I hope you did too. It's going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. So this is Bust and we thank you for being here.